Hi everyone, welcome to the series from IMS, Best of CAT Blast from the Past. Now, what do we mean by blast from the past? We've taken up questions from past CAT papers and especially the older CATs, like 2003 to 2008, and maybe even a few earlier ones. So obviously we've taken the most relevant questions which are relevant to today's CAT. So this will be really helpful for students who are taking CAT 24, CAT 25 and so on. Right. Let's have a look at the first question. A question from profit and loss. A dealer offers a cash discount of 20% and still makes a profit of 20%. When he further allows 16 articles to a dozen to a particular sticky bargainer, how much percent above the cost price were his wares listed? That means wares are goods listed. So let's understand a couple of things over here. He's offering first discount. He's offering a discount of 20%. If I skip the part of profit first, he's offering one more discount where he's giving 16 articles to a dozen. So I need the concept of freebies. What is the concept of freebies? That means the concept of freebie says that discount percentage is same as number of free articles taken upon total number of articles taken into 100. So he allows 16 articles to a dozen. Dozen is 12. That means he gave 4 articles free. So 4 were free. Upon total number of articles taken, 16 into 100, which will become 1 by 4. 100 upon 4 will be 25%. So even before I go ahead, can I understand this much concept that he has given 2 discounts. The first discount is 20% and the second discount is 25%, right? So these 2 discounts are given. He still makes a profit of 20%. Now, if you think logically, even if you just start thinking logically, he's offering a discount of 20, he's offering one more discount of 25, still makes a profit of 20. If I have to use a slightly long method, and at the end, what do I want to find? What is the relation between his cost price and mark price? Understand, discount is offered on mark price, while profit is on cost price. So these are on 2 different entities. So if I keep giving my discount on my mark price, I will land up with my selling price. So let's first work on that much. I will show you 2 approaches for this part of the question. So let's understand the first approach, which is a slightly longer approach. Let us assume his mark price was 100. Now, if mark price was 100 and he gives a discount of 20%, first discount of 20%. So price after first discount. So price, this is price after discount 1 will become 80, because on 100, if you offer 20% discount, it will become 100 minus 20% of 100 is 20. It will become 80. On this 80, I'll offer 25% discount. 25% is 1 by 4. So 1 by 4 of 80 will be again 20. So therefore, price after second discount will become 20 lesser. Understand why 20 and not 25? Because it will be 25% of 80. 25% of 80 is 20. So it will become 60. Price after discount second will become 60. And this price after discount 2 is your selling price. So the selling price is 60. So he's selling the articles at 60. Now, and still making a profit of 20%. So I need to find his cost price. Now, let's think of it like a new question. When you're making a profit of 20%, what is the relation between your selling price and cost price? Your selling price is said to be 120% of the cost price, or for the ones who've been observing us and having a look at our concept videos and everything, you can also write this as 6 by 5. 120% is 120 upon 100, which is 6 by 5. So selling price is 6 by 5 of the cost price. So we know the selling price was 60. So 60 is 6 by 5 of the cost price. Cross multiply and solve this out. 60 into 5 divided by 6. So therefore, the cost price will become 50 rupees. So can I say when the mark price was 100, the cost price is 50? Cost price is exactly half of the mark price, or in better words, Mark price is exactly double of the cost price. I'll repeat this. Cost price is either half of the mark price or mark price is exactly double of the cost price, because they ask how much percent above the cost price where is listed. So we want to know what is the mark price above the cost price. So which you call up as markup. So what is your markup? Markup percentage is markup upon cost price. So a article of 50 rupees has been marked at 100, which means the markup is 50 upon a cost price of 50 into 100. Answer will be 100%, which is the first option. Obviously, this is a slightly longer approach. I've used a slightly longer approach. We can use a shortcut also over here, which obviously I'll discuss with you. But this is a very important question because it goes through so many concepts. It goes through two discounts concept, which is successive discount, understanding that. Second, it also helps you understand how to offer discount. It offers discount on mark price, and then how to offer profit, means or when profit is there, what is the relation between selling price and cost price. And last, we get the markup concept. So this question is very important because it gives you 3 or 4 concepts of profit and loss really well. Let's have a look at one more approach for this question. I'll just erase this part. The second approach, the starting is same. The discount 1 is 20% and discount 2 is 25%, right? So using both these discount, I'm going to use successive percentage change and find net discount. What is net discount? Discount is always negative. So it will be negative 20 minus 25 plus 5, right? Let me explain this to you. What is successive discount formula? Successive discount is A% plus B% plus AB upon 100%. So it will be negative 20 minus 25 plus 20 into 25, it will become positive upon 100, so it becomes 5. So the net discount will be 40%. So can I say after offering a discount of 40%, he's still making a profit of 20%? Now, let's understand how is discount offered. Discount is offered on mark price. When you offer discount on mark price, can you say selling price? If you are offering 40% discount on mark price, you can say selling price is 60% of mark price. Selling price is 60% of mark price. And same way, when you get a profit of 20%, you can say selling price is, as explained earlier, is 120% of cost price. This is also selling price and this is also selling price. Can we equate them both? If we equate them both, if I equate selling price to selling price, I'll get 60% of MRP. 60% will be 60 upon 100, which is 6 by 10 or whatever. 60% of mark price of becomes multiplication is 120% of cost price. Why did I get rid of percentage? Percentage kind of upon 100 cancelled out on both sides. What is the relation between mark price and cost price? 120 upon 60, which is 2 upon 1. We landed up to the same thing, that the mark price is exactly double of the cost price, which means the mark price is 100% above the cost price. Double, right? So markup percentage will be 1 upon 1 because difference between the two is 1. 1 upon 1 into 100, which is 100%, which is the first option. Very important question. Go through both the approaches really well and try it hard. The next question also is a classic CAT question, really well thought of. You know, the examiner who must have made this question must have really put a lot of effort to this. So he's saying instead of a meter scale, meter is 100 centimeters. Instead of a meter scale, a clock merchant uses a 120 centimeter scale while buying. So he's cheating from wherever he's buying, he's cheating, right? Because he was actually going to get only 100, but he got 120. But uses an 80 centimeter scale while selling. So he tells the customer, I'm giving you 100, but he gives him only 80. But he does one good thing, that he gives 20% discount on cash payment. What is his overall profit percentage? So there are 3 parts we have to think of. Again, I'm going to talk about 2 different approaches, one slightly longer and one with a shorter method. So one method, I assume, let the price of 1 centimeter be 1 rupee. Let the price of 1 centimeter be 1 rupee. So instead of a meter scale, the cloth merchant uses a 120 centimeter scale while buying. So he goes to the shop, he says, I want 100 centimeters, but I will get my own scale. Fair enough. Which means he's paying for 100 centimeters, but he's getting 120. So can I say cost price of 120 centimeters is rupees 100. Now pay attention, cost price of 1 centimeter was 1. So cost price of 120 should have been 100. Should have been 120, but he paid only for 100 because he did cheating over here. So that is why cost price of 120 centimeters became 100 and did not become 120. What happened while selling? He sold only 80, but he charged for 100. So, and I know there's a discount, we'll come to the discount. So I therefore say mark price of 80 centimeters was not 80, he was putting it as 100 because that there also he was doing the cheating. So 100 rupees. But after giving the discount, the actual selling price of 80 centimeters, he gave a discount of 20% on this. The selling price of 80 centimeters became 80 rupees. So cost price of 120 centimeters is 100, while selling price of 80 centimeters is 80. Now, if I want to calculate the percentage, profit percentage or whatever, I will have to do it for the same number of centimeters. I could do it for 1 centimeter, but 1 centimeter I'll get some fractions and it will be unnecessary bad calculations. So hence, I would prefer doing it for 120 centimeters. So selling price of 80 I have and cost price of 120 I have. It is easy to find selling price of 120. Selling price of 120 will be how much? Selling price of 80 is 80. So selling price of 120 will be 120. Right? Very easy. Cost price of 120 is 100. Selling price of 120 is 120. And therefore profit percentage. Profit percentage is profit upon cost price into 100. What is profit? Profit is 20 rupees upon a cost price of 100 into 100, which will become 20%. That's the first option. Again, a pretty interesting question. It talks about cheating in two ways. Once while buying and once while selling also. And also talks about discount. So 3 concepts are considered again over here. Makes the question pretty interesting. Well, this question can have a very, very, very smart shortcut. And let's have a look at that approach. Okay. So what will happen in the second approach? In the first case, he buys 100 but buys 120 but pays only 100. So can I say he directly makes a profit of 20%, which is 1 by 5. In the second case, he sells 80 but charges for 100. Now, a lot of people will make a mistake in this step. He sells 80 but charges for 100, which means he makes a profit of 25% because he makes a profit of 20 on 80, which is 1 by 4, which is 25%. And third, he offers a discount of 20%. Now, use fractions. So, suppose whatever was his price, doesn't matter. If he makes a profit of 1 by 5, it will become 6 by 5. So, his selling price will be 6 by 5 of the cost price. He gets one more profit of 25%. 25% is 1 by 4. So, if it becomes profit, it will become 5 by 4. And last, he gives a discount of 1 by 5. So, when you give a discount, it becomes lesser into 4 by 5. 4, 4 cut, 5, 5 cut. Selling price is 6 by 5 of the cost price. So, profit is 1 by 5 of the cost price, which is 20%, which is the first option. So, obviously, if you understand this, great. Otherwise, the previous method was still there. You can use any one of the approaches. Again, a good, nice, important question to understand. Let's have a look at the next question. So, the next question is a question from ratios and averages. It includes some part of ratios, needs some logic of averages, A student gets an aggregate of 60%, that is average of 60% in 5 subjects in the ratio 10:9:8:7:6, which means if he had 5 subjects in an exam, his average score is 60% is what they have said. If the passing marks are 50% of the maximum marks and each subject has the same maximum marks, in how many subjects did he pass the examination? So, your whole idea is how many marks is the exam out of, what is the scores he has got if he has to get 60%, aggregate is 60%, and so on. So we'll work on that. So let's think of different approaches over here. Suppose let's say these were the actual scores. He got a score of 10 plus 9 plus 8 plus 7 plus 6. So how much is the total? This is 40. If you add up, this is 40. 19 plus 8, 27. 27 plus 13 is 40. So this 40 score which he has got is 60% of the total marks, right? 40 marks which he has got is 60% of the total marks, right? So cut a 0 out over here, 2 3s are, 2 5s are, and we can say the total marks is 200 upon 3. This is of 5 subjects, right? Total marks is 200 upon 3 of 5 subjects. So what is maximum marks per subject? Maximum mark per subject will be 200 upon 3 divided by 5. So 200 upon 3 divided by 5 will become multiplied by 1 upon 5, which is 40 upon 3, right? So 40 upon 3 is the maximum marks per subject. Leave it here only right now. What were the passing marks for every subject? 50%. That means the exam was out of 40 upon 3. So the passing marks per subject is 50% of this 200 upon 3. 50% is nothing but half, sorry, not 40 upon 3, not 200 upon 3. 40 upon 3, half of that 50% is half. So it will become 20 upon 3. So can I say the passing marks were 20 upon 3? 20 upon 3 is 6.67 approximately. That means to pass in every subject you need 6.67. But, and question is how many subjects did he pass? So wherever he got 10 marks he has passed, 9 he has passed, 8 passed, 7 passed. Only the subject where he got 6 marks he has not passed. So can I say he has passed in 4 subjects out of 5? Hence the answer is the third option. Again, a slightly long approach. We understood everything. We didn't work too much towards this fractions, how to get rid of this fractions, what we could have done if we wanted the easiest way to get rid of the fractions would have been multiply everything by 3 over here. These were all ratios, right? So we could have said, let us assume he has got marks like 30, 27, 24, 21 and 18. And this total would become 120 and all the fractions we could have got rid of and you would have still got the answer. That's one approach. Let's look at one slightly smarter approach. So for the smarter approach, what we're going to do is when somebody gets marks in the ratio of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Now, luckily over here, that's just luckily and that is why you can use this approach. The average of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 will be 8 only. You can also do it 40 divided by 5, which average was 8. So the average is 8. The 8 average is nothing but 60%. So they have said when somebody gets 8, average of 8, that is equivalent to 60%. So 8 is 60%. So how much is 50%? If 8 is 60%, how much is 50%? It will be 50 upon 50 into 8 divided by 60. 2 3s are, 2 4s are, which is 20 upon 3. Again 6.67. That means 50%, which was the passing marks, is 6.67. So if you need 6.67 to pass, the only subject you're failing is where you're getting 6 marks. Everything above that is passing. So hence you're passing in 4 subjects out of 5. So again, couple of approaches for this question, a pretty interesting one. Let's have a look at the next question. The next question is again a classic CAT question, and not only a CAT question. I remember it from my school days. I'm sure a lot of people remember it from their school days. This question was there in your school textbooks also. So let's read. The speed of a railway engine is 42 kilometers per hour when no compartment is attached to it. So the maximum speed at which the railway engine can move is 42 kilometers per hour. And the reduction in speed is directly proportional. Very important is the reduction in speed is directly proportional to the square root of number of compartments attached. That how many compartments you will attach, that much the speed will reduce in the direct proportion. We'll come to that part later. If the speed of the train carried by this engine becomes 24 when 9 compartments are attached, find the maximum number of compartments that can be attached. Okay, pretty interesting. Pay attention carefully. Maximum speed is 42 and that time the compartments attached are 0. Right? Now, the speed becomes 24 when I attach 9 compartments, and now that is where a very common mistake happens. They have told us very clearly the reduction in speed. So your equation which you will make, your reduction in speed is directly proportional to square root of number of compartments attached. Therefore, reduction in speed will be equal to k multiplied by square root of number of compartments attached. Now, how much is the reduction in speed? Speed was 42, it became 24. It was 42, it became 24. So, how much has it reduced by? It has reduced by 18 is equal to k into square root of 9. Now, this was the equation. A lot of people would have put 24 over here and not got the question. Square root of 9 is 3. So, k becomes 18 divided by 3. Therefore, k becomes 6. So, we've got k as 6. Now, let's read what have they asked for. They've asked for what is the maximum number of compartments that can be carried. What do you mean by what is the maximum number of compartments you can carry? Logically, I can attach infinite number of compartments, 100, 200. The train will not move. So, when I mean to ask you what is the maximum number of compartments the train can carry, I mean to ask you what is the maximum number of compartments the train can carry such that it still moves a little bit. It might move at very, very slow speed, but it still moves a little bit. So, what we will do is we will assume when does the speed become 0 and then minus 1 compartment from that. So, for the speed to become 0, I will say reduction in speed, which is equal to now 6 into root n. For the speed to become 0, the original speed was 42. So, reduction in speed will be 42 is equal to 6 into square root of n. 42 divided by 6 is 7. 7 is equal to square root of n. Take squares on both sides. Therefore, n is 49. Now, again, lot of people would make a mistake and mark 49 over here even after knowing the whole question. Incorrect. At 49 compartments, the speed will be 0. After that, I can keep adding compartments. The speed will still remain 0. But for the train to move or the engine, railway engine to move even a little bit, I can maximum attach one lesser compartment, which is 48. Hence, the answer will be the second option. Again, not a very easy question, but a classic CAT question and an important one. Looking at the next question, we see it is told to us that fresh grape contain 90% water by weight. So, in fresh grape, there is 90% water, only 10% is pulp. While in dried grapes, 20% water by weight, which means only 20% is water and 80% is pulp. What is the weight of dry grapes available from 20 kg of fresh grapes? Now, what is the meaning of this? So, if I have 20 kg fresh grapes, if I dry them, what do you mean by if I dry them? I allow the water to evaporate or I squeeze the water out or whatever. I will get how many kgs of fresh grapes? Dried grapes. So, I have fresh grapes which are 20 kgs. These are fresh grapes which are at 20 kgs. In which how much is pulp? Very important. The total weight is 20 kgs. How much is the pulp? 90% is water, which means can I say 10% is pulp? So, can I say pulp is 10% of 20 kgs, which is only 2 kgs, and the water which is there will be 18 kgs. Now, question asked is how much dry grapes will I get from this? That means this is what is asked. When they have told us the pulp, over here pulp was only 10% and water was 90%. Now, what will remain constant? If I take fresh grapes, if I dry them, I remove the water, what remains constant? Very important this is. What will remain constant is the pulp. So, can I say the pulp will remain 2 kgs only? But the pulp now is how much percent? It is 80% because water is only 20%. So this pulp is now 80%. We can find water and add them up and get it over here, or we can directly find 100% is how much? If 80% is 2 kgs, then 100% is how much? So I can write it over here. 80% is 2 kgs, then 100% is how much? Or as I said, you could have found the water 20% and added it. Whichever way you do it, if you solve this 100 into 2 divided by 80, answer will come out to be 2.5 kg. That means the total weight will be 2.5 kg, or in short, the water will be only 0.5 kg. Different questions can be asked. They can ask you how much water evaporated. So we can say 17.55 kg water evaporated and so on. Right now, we've been asked this 2.5 kg, which is the third option. Very interesting question. A very similar question in CAT was asked on watermelon, drying of a watermelon. Exactly same thing. Remember, whenever you're drying something, the whole concept from fresh, if you're making into a dried grapes or something, the quantity of pulp will remain same. And that is very important. This pulp will remain constant, and that concept is very important. Let's have a look at the next question. A slightly difficult question and one of the most well-known questions from past CAT papers. You ask any old CAT student or any old CAT mentor and you tell them it's a shipping clerk wala question, they'll always remember it like nothing. They'll just know it very, very well. Let's read the question very carefully. A shipping clerk has 5 boxes of different but unknown weights, each weighing less than 100 kgs. So each of the 5 boxes are all less than 100 kgs. There are 5 boxes. The clerk weighs the boxes in pairs. He puts each boxes and he puts them in pairs. So first box with the second, first with third, first with fourth, and so on. The weights obtained are so and so. 110, 112, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 120 and 121. These are the pairs which we get. What is the weight of the heaviest box? Now, pay attention to this very carefully. So we have 5 boxes. We don't know the weight of any one of them. Let us assume the weight of these 5 boxes are A, B, C, D, E in the ascending order, which means A is the lightest, then there is B, then there is C, D and E. So these are the 5 boxes in kgs, all of them less than 100 kg. So what do we know? We know the total when you take them in pairs is 110, 112 and so on. Now, what are the different pairs you will get? So for example, the first pair you will get will be A with B. So the first pair will be AB. Second pair will be AC, AD, AE. And now we should know from simple permutation combination that this will be 10 pairs. But for the ones who don't know, let's just write down all the 10. AB, AC, AD, AE. AB is counted, so we can't count BA one more time. It will be BC, BD and BE, CD and CE, and then there will be DE. You can count, these are exactly 10. Now, if you add all these 10, so how many times will you get A? 4 times. You will get B 4 times, C 4 times and E 4 times. And that will be same. That means, see, if you add this is A, whatever. If this was A plus B, A plus C and so on, whatever. I don't know which is what. I'll come to that later. Now, I add all of them. I'll get 4 times A plus 4 times B plus 4 times C plus 4 times D and 4 times E, because everything has come 4 times. Will be total of all these numbers, that is 110 plus 112 plus 113. Well, I've already counted that and kept, so you all can just do the total up. Obviously, it is more than 1000. In fact, more than 1100 also. If you total this up, it comes out to be 1156. Divide that by 4, so you'll get A plus B plus C plus D plus E is 1156 divided by 4. That will be 4 2s are, 4 8s and 4 9s are 289. A plus B plus C plus D is 289. I want to find E. Now comes the important part, and pay attention to this very, very, very carefully. Till here it was still doable. Now comes the important part. Now, if A is the lightest box and B is the second lightest box, can I say A plus B will be definitely the lightest pair? A plus B will be definitely the lightest pair. So, A plus B will definitely be 110. And if you think logically, with the same logic, D plus E will be the heaviest box. So, D plus E will definitely be 121. So, if I add these two and subtract them from this, I will directly get C. So, I will get C is equal to A plus B plus D plus E, subtract from A plus B plus C plus D plus E. That is 289 minus 231. The total of these two will be 231. So, C will come out to be 58, right? So, we got C as 58. That much was okay. We understood that. Now, once we got C as 58, I want to find E, heaviest box. What will be the second heaviest pair? E is the heaviest box and C is the second heaviest box. So, I can easily find out that C plus E will be the second heaviest pair, which will be 120. I already know C, which is 58. So, 58 plus E is 120, and therefore, C plus D, C plus E will be the second heaviest pair. Yeah, so C plus 58 plus E is 128. Therefore, E will come out to be 62, which is the second option. Now, the question ends over here, but we're just going to do a little bit further. I'm just going to leave you all with some thoughts. Can you all easily now also find all the other three? So, I know E, so I got D anyways. What about A? What about B? So, I'm sure you should be able to find, because the second lightest pair will be A plus C. Second lightest pair will be A plus C. And you know C, so you can easily find A. And once you can find A, you can find B also, and hence you can get all 5. Right now, they had asked only one, which is the second option, and a pretty interesting question. Looking at the next question, they've told us a set of consecutive positive integers beginning with 1 is written on the blackboard, which means on the blackboard we've written numbers from 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on up till some number n. Let's assume till n. We don't know what n is. A student came along and erased one number. So, he erased one random number. There are options given, but he erased one random number because there's none of these also. If none of these was not there, I could have tried with options, but since none of these was there, I'm not trying with option. The average of the remaining numbers became 35, 7 by 17. What is the number erased? Now, pay attention. This is very, very, very important. Okay. Now, when you write numbers in an order, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on till n, the mean and the median turns out to be same. If you write 10 numbers, 1 to 10, whatever is the mean of the 10 numbers, the median of the 10 numbers will also be same. And so, same goes for 1 to 11 or whatever, wherever you write till, the mean and the median will be same. Now, if you erase one number, the median will not change drastically. It will change, but it will not change drastically. So, the median is close to this number, 35, 7 by 17, approximately. And I'm saying that is after erasing one number. It is 35, 7 by 17. Now, what is 35 17s are plus 7? Let's just do that calculation. 35 17s are 17 5s is 85, 8 carry, 595. 595 plus 7 is 602 upon 17. And the mean is also approximate to that number, 602 upon 17. Now, I basically need the denominator to be a multiple of 17. I need the denominator to be a multiple of 17 or 17 itself. So, now the problem is, if there were only 17 numbers, the median cannot be close to 35 or the mean cannot be close to 35. Even if there were only 34 numbers, the mean or median cannot be close to 35. 17 3 is 51. If there were 51 numbers, the median or the mean would be close to 25. Now, if there were 68 numbers, the median or the mean could be close to 34, 35. Very high chances. And that's more or less our number of numbers. That means n is till 69, not till 68. 68 is after erasing one number, right? So this was very important. That means the actual calculation was 602 into 4 upon 17 into 4, right? That was the actual calculation. 602 into 4 will be 2408 upon 68. That means the total of all the numbers after erasing one number was 2408, and there were totally 69 numbers. We should know from our properties of numbers how to find the total of 1 to 69. If I want to find the total of 1 to 69, the formula will be n into n plus 1 upon 2, 69 into 70 upon 2, right? That will be 0, 7 9s are 63, 6 carry 42, 42 plus 6 48, 4830 upon 2, that will be 2415. That means total of all the numbers before we erase that one number from the board. You know, somebody came, the child came and erased one number. So the total was 2415. And after erasing that one number, the total was 2408. I explained that to you earlier. And therefore, number erased will be 2415 minus 2408, which is 7. Very, very, very important. This whole thought process that mean and median are very close by, not an easy question. If you've done similar questions, you will now think of it as easy. But if it came first time in the CAT, it will always be a difficult question. I would like you to go through this really carefully. Looking at the next question, they've told us, now this includes a little bit of geometry, so you'll need a little bit concepts of geometry. I'll give you the concept which I use. The length, breadth and the height of a room are in the ratio 3:2:1. If the breadth and the height are halved, so we are going to make the breadth and height half, while the length is doubled, then the total area of the room will what? All the options are decreased except one which remains the same. Let's see total area. What is the total area of a cuboid? Total area of cuboid, length, breadth and height were given, so cuboid is 2 LH plus LB plus BH. 2 LB plus LH plus BH, right? That's the total area of a cuboid. Let us assume the length, breadth and height originally were 3, 2 and 1 only. We can also make it 6, 4, 2 to avoid decimals, but that's okay, not too much. So the original total area was 2 into LH, 3 ones as 3, LB, 3 twos as 6, and BH, 2 ones as 2. That will be 9 plus 2, 11, 11 twos are 22, 22 square units. So the original total surface area was 22 square units. Length has been doubled. So the new length becomes 6, while the breadth and the height have been halved. So breadth will become 1 and height will become 0.5. So the new total area or total surface area, as you would call it, would be 2 times LH, 6 into 0.5 will be 3. LB, 6 ones are will be 6. And BH will be 1 into 0.5, which is 0.5. This will be 9.5. 9.5 into 2 will be 19. So the new total surface area is 19. Let's read very carefully what have they asked. What is the change? So percentage change will be how much? Change upon original. What is the change? From 22 it is going down to 19. So change is 3 upon original 22 into 100, right? You should know your calculations. 1 by 11 is 9.09. So 1 by 22 will be roughly 4.5, roughly. Okay, 4.5 into 3 will be roughly 4.5, 13.5. So this is approximately 13.5%. If you look at the closest option which you have, it's 13.64 decrease, which is the second option. So it's a pretty straightforward question, not really very difficult. I would put it as a definite as a category A level question. You should be able to do such questions easily in a test paper. Looking at the next question, it's a classic question of averages, you know, and especially ages, how to understand ages. So go through it very carefully. 10 years ago, The age of the members of a joint family of 8 people added up to 231 years. So let's say 2024 is present. 10 years ago, in 2014, 10 years ago, the total age was 231. Total age was 231. Number of members were 8. I don't know what the average was. If I need, I can calculate 231 divided by 8. I don't know whether I need it. So this is total, this is number of people, and this is average. Okay. And the year. 3 years later, so from 2014, if 3 years later, it will become 2017. One member died at the age of 60 while a child was born during the same year. So first of all, let's assume just before that member died. It is 3 years now. So everybody's got older by 3 years. So the total will become 231 plus 8 3s are 24. Why 8 3s are 24? Let's understand. There were 8 members. Everybody grew older by 3 years. And therefore the total increased by 24. Now the person who died minus 60, but somebody was born, just born. So the age was 0 of that one person. Number of people still 8. Average, I don't know whether I need it, so I'm not even doing it. Now you can do this calculation. This is minus 36. 231 minus 36 will be 195. 231 minus 36 will be 195. So 195 is the age in 2017 of all the 8 members. After another 3 years, one more member died at the age of 60 again. And one more child was born. So exactly same. Don't even think too much. 2014, 195 minus 36. I don't need to do anything. I don't need to explain this part to you again. Because again, everybody grew older by 3 years. So plus 24. The person who died minus 60 and same thing. Everything same. 196 minus 36 would have been 160. So this comes out to be 159. Again for 8 members. Right? The current age of the 8-member team, current is today. So this was not 2014, 21 this was. My bad, 21. Right? 20. 3 years it was. So 2020. So now in 2024, present, 4 more years. Everybody will grow older by 4. Everybody will grow older by 4. That means the total age will increase by 32. That will become 191 for 8 members. We want to find the current average age. So 191 is the total age of the 8 members. 191 divided by 8 is slightly. What is 24 eighths? If you do 24 eighths, I think it's 192. Right? Yeah. So it is slightly less than 24. Approximately 24. 23 point something. And is nearest to, they have said it is nearest to, it will be nearest to 24. Hence the answer will be the 4th option. Pretty interesting question. Very important is why this 24 is added. Why again the 24 is added second time and why 32 is added? Because everybody grows older. So the total of the family increases accordingly. Let's have a look at the next question. The next question talks about heights. The average height of 22 toddlers increased by 2 inches when 2 of them leave. Now tell me, when will the average increase? If some people leave your group and the average increases, what would they mean? That means the people who were leaving, their height was definitely less than the average height of the group. Only that is why they left. So it's like that logic, if the weaker person of the team leaves and the team automatically becomes stronger, the average automatically becomes stronger. So if the average height of these 2 toddlers is 1/3 the average height of the original 22, then the average height in inches of the remaining 20 toddlers is what? So it is like 2 groups, the 20 toddlers, the 2 toddlers and the whole group 22. Now if you read very carefully, they have told us this part, the average height of these 2 toddlers is 1/3 the average height of the original group. So 2 toddlers, let us assume their average is x. So the 22 toddlers together, their average will be 3x. 22 toddlers, their average will be 3x. Right? We want to find the average of the 20. those 20 which has increased by 2, so it is 3x plus 2, right? Let's try this. So the total before anybody left was 22 into 3x, 66x. And the two toddlers, when they left, their height was 2x. So the total became 64x. 64x for how many people? For 20 people. So the average became 64x divided by 20, which will be 3.2x. And the difference between these two has been given to us as 2. So 3.2x minus 3x, the original average, is given as 2. So 0.2x is 2. So x is 10. We want to find the average of the remaining 20. The average of the 22 will be 30, and for the remaining 20 it increased by 2. So it will be 30 plus 2, 32. Easily from the options also you could have figured out option minus 2 had most probably got to be a multiple of 3. So 30 minus 2 is 28, is not your answer. 23 minus 2, 21 can be your answer. And 26 minus 2, 24 also can be your answer. So 3 options were there. So options can be slightly long. One more approach which I can use for this is direct alligations. There are two groups, the 2 toddlers and the 20 toddlers. Their average was x. Their average was 3x plus 2. And the average of all 22 was 3x. Use regular alligation method. 3x plus 2 minus 3x becomes 2. And 3x minus x becomes 2x. These were 2 toddlers and these were 20 toddlers. If 2 is equal to 2, then 2x is equal to 20 over here. So 2x is 20. Again get x10. Whichever way you do it, you get x10. And hence the average of the remaining 20 toddlers would be 32, which is the third option. Good important question of averages. Learn averages method also and learn the method of alligation. Any questions of averages can also be done through alligations. Remember that. A jar contains 175 ml water and 700 ml of alcohol. So total quantity is 875, in which water is 175 and alcohol is 700. Right? Gopal takes out 10% of the mixture and now substitutes it by water in the same amount. So every time, and he does that again one more time. So after 2 processes, they want us to know how much is the amount of water. So understand, in such questions, you will always concentrate on the liquid which is only coming out. So alcohol is only coming out. It is not going back inside. It will just come out. And don't worry about the water, because whatever alcohol is left, the remaining will be water, because the total will remain 875. So again, I can show you 2 approaches. The alcohol is 700 initially. When I remove 10% of the mixture, water will also come out 10% and alcohol also will come out 10%. So the amount of alcohol which will come out will be 10%. 10% of 700 is the easy number, which is 70. So you are left with 630. Right? Again, one more time the process is done. So again 10% will come out, which is 63. 10% of 630 is 63. So you are left with 7. 12 minus 6, 6. 567. The amount of alcohol left is 567. So water will be 875 minus 567. Don't even worry about calculating water. How much was water, how much added, don't worry about all that. So water automatically will be 875 minus 567. 15 minus 7 will be 8. 6 minus 6 will be 0. And 8 minus 5 will be 3. So water will be 308. And therefore percentage of water which they want will be 308 divided by 875 into 100. Both will go in 7. 7 fours are 28. 7 fours are 28. 7 ones are 7. 7 twos are 14 and 7 fives are. 25 fives are, 25 fours are. So we are left with 44 fours are, which is 160 plus 16. 176 upon 5. Let's do that calculation. 176 upon 5. That will be, double it up. That will be roughly 352 upon 10, that is 35.2% will be the percentage of water. So in such questions, you will always calculate only the liquid which is coming out and not the liquid which is coming out and going in. Otherwise, you'll have to do double calculations. You'll be wasting a lot of time. One more approach which you can do for such a question can be directly fractions. So the amount of alcohol was 700. You can do for 700, or you can initially only calculate the percentage. How much was percentage of alcohol initially? 700 divided by 875 into 100, right? So that's 700s are 7 125s are 25 5s are 25 4s are 5 1s are 5 20s are. So the percentage was 80%. So 80% was alcohol, and that 80% will become 10% less every time. So when it becomes 10% less, it will become 90%. So it will become into 9 by 10 into 9 by 10. Cut 1 0 out. 9 9s are 81, 81 8s are 8 1s are 8, 64.8. So 64.8% is alcohol percentage. So the remaining all is water. So percentage of water therefore will become 100 minus 64.8, which will be 35.2%, which is the third option. The second method is obviously a preferable method. So if you understand that, you should use the second method. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this session and you liked the session and you learned something from the session. You can always leave a comment of things which you want to ask us. We'll try and reply as far as possible.